All right, let's move forward. We first want to wish everyone on the line a happy Women's History Month. Let's take a listen to this video on the movement that has changed the world.
Women have been shaping human history since the dawn of civilization, but it's the month of March that was chosen to honor women throughout history. Here's why. The origin story of Women's History Month is up for debate, but it was born right here in the US during the suffrage movement, when women were fighting for the right to vote. Some historians say that its roots can be traced back to a protest on March 8, 1857. It was then that a group of women from New York City textile factories allegedly staged a strike over poor working conditions. But scholars argue that this demonstration was fabricated, suggesting that the strike was invented retroactively to give the annual celebration a more compelling backstory. At first, women's history was only observed for one day. The Socialist Party of America first declared National Women's Day in 1909 amid the women's rights movement, but the idea quickly spread around the globe. The idea of an International Women's Day was proposed and approved in 1910 at the International Conference of Working Women in Copenhagen, which we now celebrate every year on March 8th. Fast forward to the 1970s in Sonoma County, California, where a group of people were fed up that women's history was being left out of the classroom. The first Women's History Week was celebrated in March 1978, culminating with a parade in downtown Santa Rosa, California. This local celebration turned into a movement. Activists pushed to make this week official, and it worked. In 1980, President Carter issued the first presidential proclamation, declaring the second week of March as National Women's History Week. And that momentum kept growing. In 1987, Congress officially declared March as National Women's History Month. A special presidential proclamation is issued each year which honors the extraordinary achievements of women in America. But more than 30 years later, the fight for gender equality continues. In 2020, for every dollar a man made, women made 82 cents.
Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Again, women and men on the line, we are celebrating Women's History Month. All right, let's go over the agenda for tonight's training. We're going to hear a little bit about the founder. We're going to meet the WIC committee and support team. We're going to go over the mission and goals. We're going to go over the opportunity, which is why we're all here, right? We're going to have a little bit of education segment. We'll have the news. We'll talk about where to find us, and we'll have some final comments. Then we'll have a discussion. Sound good, ladies and gents? All right, let's move forward.
Women have
All right, our amazing founder is Shelby Casey Thompson. Most of you who know her knows that she's an educator. She's a mentor to many of us. She's a wife, an amazing mother, and an entrepreneur to her very, very soul. Now we're going to meet the support team. Let's look at the amazing Queen Jonah Stout, phenomenal Deb Nixon, yours truly, the amazing prayer warrior Felicia Vaughns, and cuddly, sweet, big hugs, Nicole Williams, other part of that Sleep Money crew, right? We have Sister Yatira X, Mark D. We have Sister Rochelle Heavenly Nails, the podologist, Miss Shayola Binta, very wise woman, and our quiet storm, Stephanie Lassise. All right, get ready, guys. Tonight is going to be amazing. Next, you're going to hear from this amazing young lady, the better half, I like to say, of Sleep Money. We have Miss Nicole Williams. Let's take a listen.
Good evening. Our mission and goal. Women in Cryptocurrency's mission is to empower women with the information and education needed to enter the cryptocurrency industry. We believe that when like-minded individuals come together to support one another, the outcomes are greater than if you were to do it alone. Our goal is to provide a platform to share information about an amazing opportunity in the blockchain technology space to help expand your wealth portfolio and possibly finance your dreams. Get ready. I yield the mic.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Nicole. We appreciate all that you and your husband, the other half of Sleep Money, bring to the table. You're so amazing. When you look up the word Superwoman, Wonder Woman, she's smack dab in the middle of that table. Now, look, tonight we're going to talk about why we're all here, the opportunity, right? So let's take a listen.
Good afternoon and welcome to Women in Cryptocurrency. The first thing we'd like to do tonight is to tell you about our amazing opportunity. And before we get started, of course, we always have to give a disclaimer because at the end of the day, results may vary. So this presentation is for the exclusive purpose of educating the community, members, and users of products, services, and potential reward programs found on the GS Partners Global platform. Every effort has been made to accurately represent the GS Partners Rewards Plan and its income potential. All earnings or income examples will depend solely upon the ideas, techniques, knowledge, skills, and time vested in your independent business. So GS Partners does not guarantee any results for any decisions you make in relations to promoting our products or your business. All income examples used by GS Partners are not to be considered average earnings. We are not financial advisors and we are not offering financial advice. We are simply telling you what we are all currently doing and sharing it with others. So GS Partners, GSP, Gold Standards Partners, as mentioned at Gold Standards, GSpartners.global is a trade name for the GSB Gold Standard Bank Ltd. The registration number is there and all the information is there for you to see. You're welcome to get a screenshot and you can do that now. Now let's get started into the good stuff. The great thing is that we have group licenses. Like licensing is super important. So GS Partners works all over the world with exclusive tech partners. Compliance is at the heart of our business. We operate in a highly regulated environment. We differentiate ourselves through good conduct, and we are well positioned to continue to thrive in an ever-evolving regulatory environment. Our partners currently operate in more than 150 countries worldwide on regulated environments, or worldwide regulated environment. So who we are, we're wealth builders worldwide, and our goal is very simple: to solve a global problem. How to make more money, save more money, grow the money that you already have, and make your money work for you in order to do what? Create and live your dream freedom lifestyle, and whatever that means to you. So we have an amazing program that's a portfolio payback and a passive residual income. So the rule is 72. Some of you may know of it, some of you may not. But how long will it take you to double your money that you currently have or that you're working for? So the rule of 72 says that you divide 72 divided by the rate of return equaling the amount of time to double. It will give you the answer there. But the great Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays into it. And that's why tonight we want to make sure that you understand it so that you can earn it instead of continuing to pay into it. So let's talk about doubling your money. What if you found a way to double your money every single year, making your money work and grow for you without obsolete traditional methods that actually work against you? Now, let's start with talking about $2,000, right? So $4,000 doubling, $2,000 would be $4,000. Doubling $4,000 would be 8,000, 16, 32, 64, 128, and we're just simply doubling 256, 512, $1,024,000, $2,048,000, $4,096,000, $8,192. That's your money doubling every single month. So 95% of the people are locked into the 40/40 plan and they end up relying on it, right? Working for 40 years, living off of 40% and that's not enough in the first place, right? So they're counting on their Social Security benefits, they're counting on their retirement plans, and they're sadly oftentimes when we expire or move on to the upper room, right? We have to count on our family members to pitch in order to take care of us or to bury us. And we want to see that change. So 95% of the people try to save their money and grow their money through the traditional methods that we know of, like your savings account and things of that nature. Let's take a look and think about, what is your bank currently offering you APY a year? Think about it. Do you even know? Well, these large banks that are bringing in billions of dollars a year, this is what they're offering you on an average. Now, we see that Capital One is up there at 0.40% per year. And some of us get really excited about that. But Capital One's interest rates are one of the highest when you try to borrow money from them in the world. And 0.40% is not a good number. So 90% again of the people try to save their money through the traditional methods of savings account. They have their 401k, they have stocks, people dabble around and play with that a little bit, and bonds are pretty much obsolete. But we have found a much better way, and that's why you're here tonight. That's why you were invited. That's why we're involved. That's why we're excited, because the new digital era is here. Metaverse, you've heard it all over the news and all over the internet platforms. Meta mining with metaverse with meta mining, meta trading, meta brokerage, meta estate city development, NFTs, meta markets, meta gaming, and so much more, all inclusive in our opportunity. Now, most people have heard of cryptocurrency and blockchain, but they don't really understand how it could be beneficial to them until now. That's why you were invited to this Zoom, and GS Partners makes it very, very simple, and we're going to show it to you tonight. We proudly represent Metaverse certificates. Now, what are Metaverse certificates? I want you to wrap your brain around things that you already know of, like certificates of deposit. Certificates of the deposit in the bank, you take your money out of your savings account, you put it into a certificate of deposit, it holds for a few years, and then you earn some interest on it. Well, it's pretty low now. Back in the day, it used to be good, but now the interest rate on certificates of deposit is insulting. Well, we have certificates in the metaverse, and we've named them after some Greek gods. Nothing special. They're called the Artemis, Hermes, Aphrodite, Apollo, Athena, Hera, Poseidon, and Zeus. And they range from $500 all the way up to $300,000, and you can get as many of these as possible. But hey, this is the great news. We are offering 4.15% per week. Per week. Now, we just looked at the banking system that's offering you 0.40% a year. We're offering you 4.15%. And as you take a look at all of these different Greek gods of names of certificates, you can see how your money will grow. Now, just taking that $2,000, would you be interested in receiving $41 per week on your savings? Exciting, right? If you look at that Hera certificate where you're going to take $60,000 from your savings account, transfer it into a metaverse certificate, and you're going to get $1,057 or $1,097, excuse me, there every single week on your money. And this is the great news. You have choices. See, with your certificates of deposit, you put it there and it must stay there. With our metaverse certificates that are in the metaverse, you have the option to withdraw each week or continue to compound and keep your money working. Now, if that isn't a blessing and a new era, I don't know what is. Now, we have an amazing trading team. The Forex market is a $7 trillion a day industry. And our dynamic team of high frequency AI trading technology helps to grow your money, your managed portfolio by this amazing team. Now, how does it work? We're going to give you the simple plan. How do you get started? You register with GS Partners and you get that link from the person who invited you to this platform tonight. It's very simple. Get with them, connected with them, and say, hey, walk me through this process and show me how to grow my money. So you register with us. It's a very simple step. They'll take you maybe 5 minutes. The second part is you're going to transfer your fiat currency into cryptocurrency and bring it over to our platform. That takes a little bit of time and patience, but it can happen rapidly as well. After you do that, then you simply become a member, right? Just like Costco's, BJ's, just like Netflix, you pay a membership so that you can take advantage of the full offerings of this company. It's all by choice. It's monthly by choice, and you decide. The person who invited you here tonight will give you all of the benefits and all of the reasons why membership has its privileges. And then the third thing you do is go ahead and purchase your certificate and tell other people about it. Now, why would you tell other people? For a basic reason. It's because giving is what we're supposed to do in this world. Give to others, share with others. So if you know about a great thing, why wouldn't you want to tell somebody else? It's really that simple. And again, that is an option as well. Now, I don't want to leave out something very significant, which is our rewards plan. Our company has made the conscious decision not to be selfish, but again, to be giving and offer us a commission for sharing it with other people. Instead of spending millions and billions of dollars on a Super Bowl commercial or millions and billions of dollars on commercials advertised on TV or radio, they made the conscious decision to say, I want to reward the person who told the other person about this amazing opportunity. So our reward plan, if you decide to become a member, you can take advantage of the commission plan that runs 9 levels deep. And for your first 3 people, if you have one active referral member, you'll receive 15% commission on every single thing that comes through on that first level. And on your second level, 5%, third level, 4%, and you see how it continues to grow as you continue to get more active members. It's an amazing rewards program. And at 9 o'clock tonight, if you want to hear about it in more detail, we have an amazing team of people who will be able to explain this program in a way that you can understand. And you find that on goldrocks.info, the same platform that you reached out to us on tonight. Sound good? Now we're excited. We're women. We want to take over this thing with a bang, and we want you to join us. Thank you for listening.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Thompson. That was our amazing founder giving us this incredible opportunity. So don't worry, as she mentioned, 9 o'clock tonight, right here on this platform that you reached out to us on, goldrocks.info, you can get a little bit more of your questions answered. If you didn't quite hear it, you didn't listen fast enough, okay? So don't worry about it. All right, listen, she talked about giving, right? And our amazing chairman of the board is such a giver. He gives us so much with just that $33 referral or membership. Listen, if you know anything about our chairman of the board, he stresses education. So as we segue into our education piece this evening, we're going to talk a little bit about a young lady who made an impact in the world. And since this is Women's History Month, we think it's very fitting. So let's move forward. We're going to talk a little bit and hear a little bit about Danny Koch right now. Let's listen.
This morning, we have an exclusive announcement from Instagram. Beginning today, Instagram is introducing a new personal fundraiser feature. It's a way to use the app to raise money for anything that's important to you, from a specific cause to a business that perhaps need help, even if it's just a friend that you know in need.
And one of the first to use the feature is influencer Danny Koch, an artist raising money to have her works displayed in classrooms in support of racial and social justice. Danny, good morning. It's so nice to have you with us.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, congratulations on your Instagram account. It's just exploding. So before we get to this fundraiser that I know you're launching today, let's talk about your illustrations that you started posting on Instagram that grabbed so much attention. How would you describe your work and its goal as we look at some of the pictures?
Yes, so the goal behind all of my work is to really encourage action and inspire justice through guiding people on how to love their neighbor well. So a big part of me stepping into this space was noticing a gap with not only illustration that is representative and inclusive, but also art that works to illustrate complex ideas and make things that may seem complex a little bit more simple and easier to digest and understand. So I set out to use my illustrations not only to explain and express these things, but to also shed a little bit of light on such a difficult topic in hopes that other people are more inspired and encouraged to engage.
And I think you're certainly doing that, considering you picked up more than 500,000 followers in just 6 months. So one of your early pieces was in honor of Martin Luther King Jr., and from there you began learning, really leaning into creating artwork that helps inform the conversation about race. So what kind of feedback are you hearing, and what reactions are you seeing from people online?
Yes, so it's actually pretty unreal. I'm mostly hearing from people who never felt like they had the right words or knew exactly what to say or do in reference to this conversation, and they felt welcome and invited into the conversation because of the way that I chose to approach the topics through my art. And it's been absolutely insane to witness. In 1 week, I saw 300,000 new people join me in that space, and it's only grown from there. And so what inspires me to continue is just seeing the fact that people not only want to continue the conversation, but want to learn more to be able to apply all that they're learning and understanding to their direct spheres of influence, which is the goal for me, for sure.
All right. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Danny Koch said a couple of things. She talked about how important it was for her to be able to engage those individuals who are visiting her site, right? She also mentioned that she wanted to look at what reactions she was getting or gaining from the interactions with the individuals online. So we're talking about a person who has started a business by engaging individuals online. Okay, what do we do here with GS Partners? We engage people online all the time, right? We engage people in person and online, correct? Yes. She said that sometimes it's hard for her to find the right words to convey the other message that she's trying to cause others to want to re-engage with her later, right? So we're going to move forward and we're going to share with you an article. If you will, take a screenshot or scan this QR code so you can take a look at this article yourself and get a little bit of education about who this person is. And it's going to talk to you a little bit about the activism that Miss Danielle Koch utilized in terms of helping her business to get the message across with diversity, equity, and inclusion, okay? That's what the DEI stands for. So basically, Miss Danny Koch had a lot of passion inside of her. She wanted to articulate to so many people and demonstrate to others about what was going on social justice wise. She was using that activism in her art in order to convey a particular message. So we're going to try to bridge this gap, right, between how what we do with GS Partners is similar. And if you are not utilizing social media to engage your audience, to build your business, we're going to talk a little bit about what we can do to change that. All right. So we're going to move forward to the next slide. And I want you to listen to what actually happened with her. Okay.
I definitely view social media as an incredibly powerful tool, especially when trying to further conversations like this. Starting in January of 2020, I illustrated as a hobby, just doing basic drawings. And Martin Luther King Jr. Day came around. So I wanted to make an illustration kind of talking about how Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy has been changed and shifted over time. And I felt as though sometimes he was painted more like a passive peacemaker when a lot of the time he was a pretty radical disruptor who fought for change and challenged the status quo. I took that thought and put it into an illustration and posted it. And I only had about 700 family and friends that followed me on Instagram anyway, so I didn't really think anything of it. The next month was Black History Month, and I decided to continue creating illustrations along similar topics like racial injustice, how to have conversations, what allyship means, and different topics of that nature. And pretty soon, more and more people started finding my art and finding me in this space. At the same time, police brutality, especially in America, along with systemic racism and racial injustice, started to take center stage in a lot of our conversations. As I was processing through things that I was witnessing, I would take those emotions and process through them with my art, and then I would share them with my audience and the people who had found me on Instagram and social media. The more I posted, the more I started to realize that a lot of people were finding my page and following. My first thought was, what is happening? And then secondly, where are all you coming from? The Insights tab on Instagram tells you the change from day to day. And so I saw a change within a week and it said 300,000 plus people. And that's when I was like, okay, this is definitely wild. And I don't know what's coming next, but I do know that there are people here that are willing and ready to take the next step, whatever that next step was gonna be. I would say to any artist looking to grow their social following, to not focus on how much you want to grow your following. I think that the effort that is normally put into really wanting growth is better spent investing in consistency, authenticity, refining your unique voice and your unique style, and listening to what's happening in the world around you so that you maintain some degree of relevancy. I believe that social media is an incredible tool because the art that I'm making is getting to get into the hearts and homes of so many different people, and it is through that I'm able to actually help people think through and process through ideas that they would not otherwise have necessarily thought of or engaged with. They are led to that real world, tangible activism that we want at the end of the day.
All right, ladies. As you heard from Danielle Koch, she talked a lot about how this social media caused her to engage others. And she spoke a little bit about Martin Luther King's legacy. And she basically talked about how it was shifted around a lot, but MLK, Martin Luther King, he challenged the status quo. He did a lot of that. And she also alluded to the fact that her social media allowed her the opportunity to build allyships. And we can build allies with the use of our social media and our engagement. Additionally, she talked a little bit about growth. So with social media, we have the ability to grow our business as well as leverage social media. So one such amazing woman that has created this type of history in this space is our very own executive, Tanisha Glaspie. She did give me permission to use her photos. So Thank you so much. And shout out to Ms. Tanisha Glaspie. You're an amazing leader in your own right. You have been a silent mentor to me, as well as countless others. We thank you for all of the lessons that you have been teaching us and how relevant it is for us to bridge the gap between this other young lady and you, and how you are developing your own history in this space. So thank you again. Everybody put in the chat, give her some shout outs and just light the chat up and thank her and applaud her for her work in this space. So listen, Miss Tanisha, if you know her, she's a very shy person. And so she loves to stay behind the scenes. And in this particular space, it actually worked to her advantage with her actually using social media, the next steps that she took in her business to grow her business and to overcome that challenge of being shy and liking to be behind the scene. She utilized social media to her advantage, right? She's very consistent. Miss Danny Coe talked about investing in consistency, investing in authenticity, investing in relevancy. So Miss Tanisha Glaspie, she does all of that, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna glean a little bit from her from afar, and we're gonna take this as a call to action on this next slide. We're gonna give you some thought-provoking questions right now. And if you have not considered social media as a tool or a vehicle to help you grow your business in this space, ladies and gentlemen on the line, I challenge you to think about these questions. Feel free to type in the chat as we pose these questions and trigger some thought here. All right, so here we go. How powerful of a tool has social media been for you with GS Partners? How powerful of a tool has it been for you? Do you post? Maybe we should ask that question. Do you post at all? Okay. Second question, feel free, type in the chat. Moderators, y'all go ahead, engage them. Let me know. Let's see what they're talking about. Type in the chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what process do you use to post? What process are you using to pique interest? How is that going to translate into viable business? Is it income producing? It can be if you utilize it the proper way, right? Okay, let's talk about what feeling do you get once you engage someone. They view your insight, you view your insights on the page, you get feedback, and you're seeing how many folks that you're engaging on social media. I'm sure someone out there other than Miss Tanisha Glaspie has translated their social media posts into some partnership. I know so. I know so. I know there's plenty of gentlemen that do it. So men, please don't think that we're leaving you out. We got some very consistent gentlemen in this space. So thank you. Hats off. Thank you for being wonderful leaders. But tonight we're talking and focusing on these ladies since it's Women's History Month, okay? So think about what thought goes into generating those social media posts. Is it inspired by someone or is it spontaneous? Now, in the article, Miss Danny, she talked about being inspired by the very amazing poet. A lot of us know her, Maya Angelou. Toni Morrison was another person that inspired her. Now, we're going to go to the next slide because there are some similar questions, but I want you to give a little bit more thought as it relates to how you could possibly translate that social media post into business, and then that business in turn can be channeled towards some type of activism to change lives. Well, maybe you want to have enough income where you can open a women's shelter. Maybe you want to have enough income where you can have a daily living home for seniors. Maybe you want to have a home for children. Maybe you have some other reason. Maybe it's social justice. Maybe you want to assist people who have been incarcerated. Maybe you want to help people who've had some challenges with their mental health. Well, we can just ask ourselves, who or what is inspiring me? What is my why? What is your why? You can type it in the chat if you feel led to do so. You'd be surprised. Maybe someone else that's here on the line has something similar to you as their goal. Okay, so my goal, my why is to help my mother and my father. A lot of times we are in this era, the people that are in my age bracket, which I'm not going to tell you because you don't need to know, but I'm in the sandwich generation where we have children of our own still at home, and then we have some of our seasoned parents that we need to take care of as well, right? So this space, GS Partners, gives us the opportunity to have the freedom lifestyle and the income potential that we can actually translate what we do from social media posts into some viable income. I know some of you may not even be able to wrap your mind around that, but it's real. This is real. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what or who inspires you, what is your why, and I want to ask you, what do you wish you knew before you started this business? One of the things that Danny Koch spoke about, she wished that she knew that she needed to ask for help. How many of us are in this space? We're new to this space. We're new to this business. Maybe you're putting your toes in one at a time, and now you're comfortable here joining us on WIC every week, and you haven't quite plugged in, but help is available. One of the things that we tell you when you start this business is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that is so true here. We have an amazing support team. Wealth Builders Worldwide, period, is amazing organization. If you lend yourself to be open to receive, we got to have the right posture, right? We got to have the teachable posture. So one of the things, again, what do you wish you knew before you started this business? What is it that you're not asking your sponsor for help with? Because this business works if you work it. Say la. Think about it. All right, moving on. What legacy are you going to leave as a result of your business? What legacy? Will it be legacy wealth? You can't leave some things once you transition, right? But there are some things that you can leave as a legacy. We are supposed to be able to leave our children's an inheritance, right? So that's the legacy I want to leave. I want to leave a legacy of wealth that keeps on giving. And those metaverse certificates that Ms. Thompson spoke about earlier, they do that. All right, last question here. How are you going to break the glass ceiling in this space? Think about that. Miss Danny Koch, you see the illustration here with all of the different shades of arms on the piece of artwork. And she has listed on each one of these, she has a sticker that says worthy. We're all worthy to be here, ladies and gentlemen on the line, not leaving you out. We're all worthy. So she did this piece of artwork. She broke a glass ceiling. She was being radical. She was disrupting things to speak to colorism, right? And so she showed each different shade, no matter what shade women we are. In this International Women's History Month, we're all worthy to be here. We're all worthy to make our own history, right? We are all worthy. All right. You've listened to me speak a little bit long. So we're going to transition because I know that you're so excited about all of the events that we have coming up in this space. So I am going to turn this mic over and yield the platform to the amazing Nicole Williams to tell us our WIC news for this week. Nicole, are you there?
Oh, yes. Awesome. Share. Woo, what an amazing event tonight. Are you all enjoying the WIC session this evening? Let's put some fire in the chat for our moderator tonight. We appreciate you, billionaire Keisha. Oh, big hugs
My
to you too.
pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. So we've got our WIC news. First, we have our WIC faith-based edition. This is a new segment for the WIC platform. This will roll out next Monday, March 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then we've got our wealth movement at the Richmond Library. That's with Kwame and Sheola Benta. That will be March 18th. Then the Let's Go weekend. You do not want to miss this event. Ladies, if you have not acquired your certificate, your tickets, you tripping. Let's go ahead and get our tickets if we can as soon as possible. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop that link here in the chat just so no one can say that they had it. Okay, I'll do it once I finish the announcements here. But that will be March 24th through the 25th. We typically have a meet and greet on Friday. Saturday is the main event. We will have corporate in town. Oh my gosh. And I've never been to a Let's Go weekend, but I have heard of the lives that are changed. Those of you who have a team, get your family, your friends, get them to this event. It will sell out. Do that today. And then we have our onboarding live. This is a wonderful entry point for all of our new partners and old. That is held every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's Go weekend. There it is. Thank you so much, Sheola. There's the link for you all there to register for the event this weekend and get your tickets. And then Family Development Day, a sacred space for personal development and growth, headed by our very own Deb Nixon. That's held on Sundays, every Sunday at 2 p.m. And then, of course, we have, for any of you who are hosting an event within the community, we would like to know about it. Feel free to take a moment and DM any of the committee members, and we will be sure to add your flyer and event to the WIC news. All right, ladies, come on out and join us for brunch the Sunday following Let's Go weekend, which is March 26th from 11 a.m. till 1. We will all be meeting for lunch. You do not want to miss this. I heard today that we are at 75% filled. Make sure that you get your tickets today. There is a QR code. Go on and scan that, ladies, and go on and RSVP ASAP. We will create a waiting list should we sell out, should we reach capacity. And then where can you find us? Please feel free to reach out to us on YouTube at Team Freedom Presents Women in Crypto. We're getting our numbers up here, lady. Take a moment and snapshot this. Feel free to share this on your social media as we learned today that we want to start to feature ourselves more and more. We're getting our numbers up. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And then you can find us on Facebook, Team Freedom Presents Women in Crypto. I love being a part of this community, ladies, and so will you. For those of you who are considering, don't miss engaging in this space. Thanks so much. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Nicole Sleep Money. Now, we're going to move forward to share the final comments from our very own beautiful Sheola Benta. Thank you, Ms. Benta. You have the mic.
Divine and royal greetings, family. Sheola Benta stopping by with final comments. Happy International Women's Month. I hope that it has been great for you thus far. So And I also hope that you enjoyed what you've heard as you have been listening to the broadcast this evening. I just wanted to share a little bit with you as it relates to my final thoughts, final comments on Danielle Koch. First and foremost, I absolutely enjoyed the videos. Be sure to click on or scan rather, the QR code so that you can read an article done on her by Nika White. It is truly amazing. A few things that I took away from this article, she brought up Dr. Martin Luther King, and in my world, his name has been coming up so much over these last really several days. And she says that, you know, he had a picture painted of this passive peacemaker. It was almost a tongue twister. Passive peacemaker, but really he was a radical disruptor, which I think is important for us to take into our atmosphere. Not necessarily going along to get along, but really sticking true to your passion so that you can not only have a voice in the world, but ignite change. She also made mention of art and activism, Maya Angelou and Toni Morrison being some of her influences. And oftentimes we say art imitates life, life imitates art. And we have been in a constant movement, if you will, of activism. So I applaud her for recognizing her voice, standing firm in what she believes in, and really what started off as a hobby. Now, she is a professional when it comes to illustration, but she was able to use her passion and just sharing. She said something like she had like 700 followers, nothing big. She was just sharing her hobby with her family and friends, and it blew up from there. But the point that I take away from that is, you know, I look at myself as an artisan, and even preparing healthy foods is a radical disruptor. So I can really, really appreciate that. Another thing that I took away from this article was that within her professional atmosphere, her boss did not have a passion for DEI initiatives, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So it was just like, well, I'm not going to invest company money in something that I'm not passionate about. And that's why it's so, so, so important for us to have our own voice so that we can propel the messages that need to be heard, even if the people that we're working with or working for don't necessarily share that same view or see the necessity in, you know, making it shake, if you will. So there's so much more in this article. I only have a few moments. I don't want to take up too much time, but feel free to put your comments in the chat, or you can visit our Facebook page or even YouTube page and share your comments on what you thought about the article. We would love to hear from you. Back to you. Peace.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Shayola Binta. Now we're gonna move ahead. I'm gonna stop the recording and then we're gonna get into our discussion. All right, so once we stop the recording, you feel free to put your hands up, raise them, and put yourselves in the queue. All right, let's stop this recording.